Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs Show. Happy Sunday afternoon. Spurs losing 4-2 away to Wolves this afternoon in a game where anything that could go wrong did go wrong. We pulled out some form of weapon. We shot ourselves in the foot over and over and over. I hadn't even turned a stream on. And we ended up already being 1-0 down. I hadn't even turned a stream on, and we are already 1-0 down at the time. So that's something with Vic, and it's a great finish by Aït-Nouri and whatever. But we're going to talk about the game. There's ironically, when you look at of all the game, is there any positives? There's two, maybe three, but they're small positives against rather large negatives. Now we'll put this out there early doors. You put this out there early doors. He's not getting sacked after this game. Okay, if he does, I'd be shocked. Actually, no, I wouldn't be shocked. Right, I wouldn't be shocked because Spurs sacked Jose Mourinho for a cup final, and Thursday is cup final day. Basically, every game now basically is a cup final day in the Europa League. But then also at the same time, it's like you've rode it out this long. Just see, because genuinely, if Thursday was to go poorly, he will be gone. Because there will be no point holding on to him until the end of the season. So there's that. Okay. I've put it out there early doors. There's that. Obviously, not coming out of this game very happy, as you can tell. The energy is a little bit knackered, to be honest. And I don't begrudge anyone being, really, really angry and things like that. And I would never would begrudge anyone for that. You know what I mean? But there's some things that I want to talk about, which I can't wrap my head around. James Maddison's turned into a really horrific set piece taker. I can't get my head around it. He went from being a brilliant set piece taker. I haven't seen him whip in a good cross or a good free kick in God knows how long now. I don't get it. Heung-Min Son scores free kicks on international duty. He starts taking some corners and things like that for Spurs. He can't even beat the first man. I just don't get that. I don't get how... Like I said, we normally get everyone's best. We didn't even get Wolves' best today. And they spanked us. Look, Aït-Nouri's goal, I will put it out there. It's an unbelievable finish. I don't know why VAR was checking it. For me, I had no issues. It's a goal. Don't know why they were checking it. It's a lovely finish. It's a poor punch from Vic. Vic's made a couple of absolute... I say a couple. He made a few hooners today, Vic. And one game won't make me think he's a bad goalkeeper, by the way. And I'm not gonna sit here and say he's a bad goalkeeper. But he had an almighty rotten game today. Obviously, the Romero one, that's a... What is he doing? Just what are you doing? I watched Chelsea play Ipswich. They drew 2-2. I watched Liverpool get past West Ham 2-1. Under the cosh, players put their foot through the ball and it went upfield. Didn't matter if there was players in that area or not. If they're under the cosh, they're under pressure. You put your foot through it, the ball goes upfield. So I don't really get what that whole game was. And then obviously the fourth goal, what a surprise. What a surprise. You could tell it was coming, couldn't you, with Cunha? He's giving it the love heart, and it's like, mate, you hate your club, I swear. You're in here arguing yourself in comment sections. You don't love them, big man. You're not even going to be there next season. It's weird. I'm being picky. Let me have that one. But he scores a good... It's a lovely finish. Obviously, Vic has to kind of just... Vic had to try and pretty much predict where he was going to hit it because he stood no chance, basically. And from there, it was just like, every time we got a goal, right, we're getting back in the game, concede another. Oh, we've got another goal to get back in the game, concede another. We continuously shot ourselves in the foot. Now, today, I'm not going to put us shooting ourselves in the foot on Ange. I'm not. There's things, though, in the game that he did that I hated. And so I will say not only he holds blame in this game, 100%. But there's not a lot he can do when his players are continuously shooting themselves in the foot and playing some awful football. I will hold this game more on the players' heads, if I'm honest. And will hold some blame, but the players need to hold the big majority of the blame today. They were the ones that cost us the game. I mean, look, they sacked off the game 1 minute in. It's not good enough. Basuma, that's him done now. That's him done. Biss will be gone in the summer. I don't. Thursday night, in the worst possible way, if it doesn't go well Thursday night and we do go out, I don't want to see Basuma play. Give it to Archie Gray in the midfield. Tyrese Hall, whoever. Just give it to them. I don't want to see. Do you know what? This will be the way I go about it. If Thursday is to go poorly, I don't want to see any players play that are not going to be playing for us next season. It's a bold thing to say, but I would rather see Wilson Odobert playing as a central attacking midfielder if I need to. Play Tell more if he's going. If Tell's going to be here, we don't know. Obviously, he scores today. Happy days on that side of things. 2-2 in the Premier League now. Playing whoever's going to be here next season, just play them. That's all my thinking is on that. But people go, how can you be any form of positive towards Thursday night? It's not that I'm positive. I just choose to have some faith because I don't want to be sitting here for the next 3 or 4 days being negative and being just defeated. Like, you know what I mean? I've got nothing else to hold on to. I have nothing else to hold on to, by the way. There's nothing, like I said, there's 2 positives today, which I'll come to them in a minute. There's nothing really coming out of today that I can hold on to other than those couple of positives that will give me any hope on Thursday. Well, actually, there are a couple, obviously, that not everyone that started was, that was the main group, So there is that. We'll sort of see. But awful performance from some of them. Just awful performance from some of them. So there's that. In terms of the good stuff that came out today, Tell scored. I don't care that he didn't know much about it. I don't care that people go, it's lucky. Well, did you think that we were handing them goals because we do that? Or do you think there's a bit of luck in there? I don't care. It counts. He was there. It's a goal. Obviously, Richie scored. And I talked about in the last minute thoughts earlier today. I was like, Richie scoring a goal. That could be a real momentum boost and real confidence boost. So hopefully that's it. Obviously, another one actually is Kulusevski's back. He was on the bench today. He came off the bench. He's back. That is something. There are at least a few there. But in terms of the negatives outweigh the positives 100 times, Thursday night's now everything. Thursday night is now everything. Obviously, this game is kind of out of the way, but it is everything on Thursday night. Supposedly, Son and Odobert weren't in the squad today, but they'll be fine, supposedly, for Thursday. If so, Odobert or Tell, one of them has to start. Look, you're not going to get 60 minutes from you're not going to get 90 minutes from Kulu in midweek. You're not going to get that amount of minutes from him. But whatever the amount is that you can get from him, you have to get out of him. So if Kulu can give you 60 minutes, you either bring him on at halftime or he starts for 60 minutes. He's so crucial to this team. Even when playing poorly, he is so crucial, and he's better than most players in this group. Bergvall looked lively when coming on. But again, it's like we rotated, and I was really happy we rotated. And then we brought every player off the bench possible that's going to be playing in the week to get minutes. It's like we haven't really rested the players that we wanted to. Too much stuff went wrong today. Too much crap happened today. And just to add insult to injury, I've just had a look at Frankfurt. Frankfurt have just kicked off, by the way. Frankfurt have rotated a bit as well. Gertz is on the bench. Larsson's on the bench. Collins is on the bench. Brilliant. Brilliant. But yeah, I think no one should be coming out of this game. Who started this game? No one should be coming out of this game other than maybe Tell. Having any positive thoughts towards their own game. I thought they all played poorly. They all play poorly. And it's going to be really interesting Thursday. It's going to be really, really interesting. Because look, Thursday will be potentially Ange's last game. Okay. And Thursday could potentially be some of the players' last game at this club. It is fascinating. This next few days is going to be really, really intense. This is huge. These next few days is massive, by the way. You could be sitting on, is it the 17th of April? Let me have a quick look at the calendar. 17th of April. The season can be done at 17th of April. You're going to be going to Frankfurt away with all to play for, needing at least a draw to go to extra time and win to go through. There's a real situation that they have on their hands. You know, these players are some of them may not care, and some of them may care. I don't know. I won't speak for another soul on that side of things. And some of them may be wanting to leave in the summer. Even the ones that maybe I'm like, oh no, you keep them because they're good. Maybe they want to leave. Maybe it's Romero, for example, they want to leave, or Bentancur, or someone else, whoever. Well, if you want that good move that you so want, you better start playing. Because there's no way teams have looked at Spurs over the last sort of few weeks and gone, that's a player that I really want in my midfield. That's a player that I really want in the back. You can't be looking at that. You can't be looking at that with any faith. Now, this game, in theory, really meant nothing to the season because the season very much is dependent on Thursday. We all knew that. We all agreed to that. Obviously, what we didn't agree to is the fact that Spurs would go out there and cause almighty calamities. There's that. What now needs to happen is there needs to be reaction. I don't want to see Instagram posts or Twitter posts or anything like that. I don't want to see anything from the players going, not good enough today. We're better than that. We have to go again Thursday. I actually don't want to hear a single word out of the club today. Don't want to hear a word. Obviously, Ange and there'll be players doing press conferences and things like that. That's different. It's the ones on Instagram, and it's them like clapping the away fans like this. And it's like, don't want to see any of that. We've seen that like hundreds of times over the last sort of 4 or 5 years. Don't want to see it. Thursday's massive. I can't keep repeating how big Thursday is. You know, I opened up Twitter today and it's just fans attacking one another. Quickly closed the app. Wasn't interested in that. You've got people who are in the know who have somewhat been supposedly called out, just attacking fans who are querying as to why they have been called out. Like, you know, and it's just embarrassing. We are an awful fan base at the moment. And yes, if performances were better, people would forget about it. And I tell you what, if you get through on Thursday, people will absolutely forget about this Wolves game. But how many times have I said that over the last, let's say, 3 months where we'll lose a game and I'll go, yeah, but if you get through that FA Cup or if you get through that League Cup and if you get through that Europa League, you'll forget about that game. It's not enough anymore. It's not enough anymore. You know, I'm not going to sit here and throw my toys out of pram. I'm not going to sit here and swear and get angry. I didn't think we were going to win this game. You know, we're talking about the most informed team in the Premier League and their best players sitting on the bench. Can I have a question, though? We're linked with the Brentford manager. We're linked with the Fulham manager. We're linked with the Bournemouth manager. Why are we not linked with the Wolves manager? He's had 16 games in charge in the Premier League or something like that. He's won 8. It's a 50% win rate. It's better than all 3 of those guys. I'm wondering if there's going to be a link to this manager at some point. What, Luke? Welcome to the membership club, my friend. Absolute legend. Really appreciate that. I'm sorry I can't give you the energy that you deserve. I'm a bit down in the dumps about today, but I really do appreciate it, mate. Welcome. Get some really stupid stickers that I've created, so you get that at least. And then obviously some videos that you can enjoy and things like that. But I'm not surprised we're not linked to him. You know, very interesting. But how about a thumbs up, Andy? Maybe in a bit. Maybe I'll see how I feel. I've got a couple more things to get off my chest. But look, I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to be talking about. Excuse me. Not going to be talking about, you know, managers in, managers out. I'm not talking about players in, players out. It's really irrelevant now until at least Thursday evening, Friday morning. That's it. Yeah. Wait, hang on. I don't know how you would see it on the camera, Callum, but that's basically that sticker. We obviously look. I'm not gonna talk about managers in, managers out until at least Thursday's got out of the way. The whole thing was he'd have to the end of the season, or he'd have until we're out of Europe. We're still in Europe. Nothing's going to change. Does it mean we're better off or worse off? I don't know. But we'll keep a close eye on Frankfurt today and how they get on. Again, I mean, it's Heidenheim. Like, it's a game they should easily win. Well, they've not started very well, which is interesting. Look, we'll keep an eye on the Frankfurt game. We'll keep an eye on all their situations and things like that. But what I don't get is you get that Southampton first half where that was brilliant, right? We were fantastic. You get that period in the game of Frankfurt where we look fantastic and we should have scored 6 or 7 goals. And then you get that. Like, losing a game is fine. It happens at football. We as fans are obviously very emotional, but losing in football happens. It's the way you go about losing. And it's just constantly, in what way can I screw myself and screw my teammates up? Going to come up with some imaginative ideas, you know? I wonder what the next one is. I wonder what the next one is that they're going to do. Is it an own goal from like 30 yards out where they go to clear it, but instead they slice it and it just goes and lobs the keeper? Is that the next one that's coming? It must be coming. You know, shot in the foot more like head. Also pretty true, to be fair. The thing is with the Ange situation, I do genuinely believe he's been hung out to dry. He's been hung out to dry, unfortunately, Ange. He is taking all of the heat, all of the blame. There is a guy above him that is hiding behind that. There are players hiding behind Ange, so they get no blame. Does Ange deserve blame? Yes. Is he the only one at fault for this season? Absolutely, categorically no. For too long, we've allowed players to get away with blue murder, consistently stinking up the gaff. Oh, yeah, it's the manager's fault. At some point, we do need to have a conversation about some of these players, do we not? I'm happy to have the conversation about Ange, but at the same time, we need to have the conversation about the players. These players have been here for a while, some of them, and they've not been good enough for a while. You know, think about the common denominators for this situation. Obviously, up top, he up top, he is obviously one of the big common denominators. But the players, there's a lot of these players who have been here for a lot of years now. And I'm seeing no evidence of any success. And this is, I'm talking pre-Ange as well. Someone will go, we got top four of Conte. And that's fine. If you deem success as top four, then I kudos to you, then you're right. I don't really look at top four as success. Top four is success to finances and the board. Top four is not a success. That is a very limited, very negative mindset. Now, you're not going to always win titles, but in reality, in the last 5 years, so this new decade, right, we've been to a cup final with Jose, right? He got sacked before that. That's a problem. Jose Mourinho in a cup final. Yeah, that's quite an amazing thing to have, is Jose Mourinho in a cup final. Bearing in mind, he's won cups in other leagues since leaving us. He did it with Roma, who aren't exactly one of the best clubs in Italy, and they won a European trophy. With Conte, we were no good in the domestic cups, and we were no good in the Champions League. I know people don't want to admit that because Conte is some people's wet dream, but that's just factual information. And there's a lot of evidence to show that Conte is no good in Europe. Conte's done well at Chelsea, absolutely. Blank checkbook. The thing is with the manager situation at Tottenham Hotspur is this. Levy pays money to get managers in, and he pays them a good wage. And he also then, in turn, if he gets rid of them, he has to pay them out, and it's a lot of money. The reason he does that is he's willing to spend a bit more on the manager side of things, hoping the manager gets the absolute physical most out of all of these players, or all of the players that they are the manager of at that time. I think there's a lot of people at fault this season. Ange will be at fault this season. Players are at fault this season. You know, for a lot of these players who talk a really good game, they don't have stink up the gaff quite frequently. I think Johan Lang needs to hold some blame as well. I think he did some good business, and his outgoing work in the summer was very solid. But also, I don't think he truly gave us a squad, or he didn't add enough to the squad to benefit us. I think the usage of the squad at the start of the season, when you factor in, you know, the Europa League, the EFL Cup for the first half of the season, the second half, then obviously the FA Cup then comes in. And at that time, you're still in the Europa League and you're still in the FA Cup. You're obviously still at the Premier League. We didn't use the squad properly. Now, hindsight's a wonderful thing. You know, a lot of us wanted Jed Spence gone in the summer. He turns out to be a decent player. Didn't play well today. He struggled. I get it. It's one game. I'm not going to kill him for it. But I just think it's a little bit too easy just to pin it all on the manager. He definitely has blame. He has to hold blame. So if anyone thinks I'm Anjin, I'm not. You know that. I know that. I've said it so many times. But for me, I'm going to continue to bring focus to those players who earn hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, who are very well compensated for what they do. I'm holding their feet to the fire as well, because that's only fair. And I'm going to hold Daniel Levy and Johan Lang, Fabio Paratici. I'm holding all of their feet to the fire as well. This is a collective issue. They all hold blame for this season. Now, they can all take credit for this season if we win a Europa League. I will give them the credit and I will take that and say, fair play, guys. You've won a Europa League. You've won a European trophy. But right now, they all have to hold blame for how poor the season's been. And like I said, the season is now dependent on the 17th of April, that day, the second leg in Germany. Fascinating. The revisionism on Conte is disgusting. The glazing is other level. Yeah, anyone that starts twerking about Conte, I just kind of zone them out, to be honest, mate. The squad is too small. The squad is underpaid, and the squad is not 30 elite players. We have about 10 elite. I don't even think we have 10 elite. Andy, where would you think the team would be on the table without all the injuries? The issue is, mate, does it even matter? You know, it's like, oh, I tell you what, if we'd scored that one opportunity, it's like, yeah, but you didn't. It's like, kind of have to, the bed has been made. You have to kind of live in the bed. We'd obviously be a lot higher. That's all I could say about it. Hot take for a striker is Solanke's the one who I can't knock his work rate, but his stats in front of goal. I'm watching players play for the Liverpools, the Chelseas and things like that. And they whip in a lot of crosses. And some of them are good and some of them are bad. But it always seems to be like the second ball seems to get into the second ball that falls is in a really attacking and really interesting area. Ours seems to be, they've just set up on the counter attack, or it just goes straight for a goal kick. Something's not right there. The quality of deliveries the quality of crosses for the most part is not good enough as well, by the way. Was Lang and allowed to add to this as they want to? You have lamented the task nature. I think Levy obviously said that we're going to try and reduce the wage bill. But I feel like there was probably more that they could have done to work in it. I mean, look, they're trying to get Axel Disasi, Kevin Danso, Matisse Tell, Kinski, Mark Guay. They're doing a lot of stuff in January. So I don't think it's like they wanted to completely drop down the wage bill. And if you had the chance to upgrade a position in the team, what position would it be? If everyone is fit, so if we take it as everyone is fit, best team, right wing. Right wing. Andy, we need to speak on individual players' name and shame and have uncomfy convos. I can do it all day long. There was about 6 or 7 of them today that I want to have a conversation about, but I'm not going to, because that's not we're not going to help anyone with that. At the end of the season, we can definitely have that conversation. And I think we will do a video once the season's over that we're going to look at the squad in its whole. We look at every single player from Vic all the way up to Dane Scarlett, from starting goalkeeper to rotational backup striker. I'm going to go through them one by one and we talk about, should we want to keep him? Should we not? We'll do a video on that and we'll get it all nice and interactive and we'll all jump in and talk, because it's a hell of a conversation that we need to have on it. Disappointing thing about the amount of players we have what can become world beaters, but not actual world beaters in the team themselves. You don't have enough of those quality senior players that are going to help those youngsters develop. That's kind of the big issue now. But I have a question is, where might we have been with a different manager or a different medical team? There's also that. That's the other one. I just let the medical team get away with it. I've just said I'm holding Ange's, Lang's, Levy's, Paraticis, and the squad players, their feet to the fire. The medical team, or the medical teams, plural, I'm holding all their feet to the fire. As much as we talk about, Ange isn't good enough as a manager, he might not be. Players haven't been good enough as players. The medical team have been crap all season. There's so many people. It's like, spot me something across all these groups of people. Spot me someone that has done well. And someone will go, Lucas Bergval's really good. That's one player in a squad of 25. So that doesn't outweigh the rest of the crap that comes along within that. So the players, I'm not taking individual players, not taking them, not interested in it. Manager's not been good enough. Ownership's not been good enough. I think Johan Lang did half of his job really well. I think he did the other half below average. Medical team been one of the worst we've ever seen as well. So there's that. Evening, Andy. How are you, my friend? Get those season ticket renewals in and beat the rush, everyone. I wonder if there's a is there a waiting list for the season tickets? Do we reckon? Should we have a look? Is there a waiting list for? Why is Celtic season tickets come up? Newcastle season tickets. Okay. Tottenham season tickets. I think there is a waiting list. No way is there a waiting list. Grow up. Why is it elevated experiences? What? I see nothing about the footballers on the pitch. I see the NFL, though. That shows everything how wrong it is. It's a 2 years waiting list. Who the hell is waiting for it? Yeah, under 17s did very well. Windrider, how are you, mate? Jesus is saying we've not lost more games now than we lost in the 2015, 2016, 2016, 2017. Oh, come on, yeah. Boval's good when he's not assisting Cunha. He wants to get he needs to get his assist numbers up. You know? Elevated experiences. Would you like fries of that? Last heard it was 60. Who that 16,000? What? The fact is, right? The fact is, not only is there then, let's say, Andy, I'll take your word on it, it's 16,000. They were like, we're going to freeze our season ticket prices. I'm like, what on earth are people paying money for? Oh, yeah, we're actually freezing the season ticket prices. I think you should be doing something a little bit differently. Don't think people are getting bang for the buck, do you not? You know, it's the games, it's like, what was it? Was it Roma in the Europa League that they charged like 60 quid a ticket? It was like, it makes the Europa League, the idea is it's like 25, 30 quid. And instead, what they do is hike up double the price. Yeah, okay. There's a serious evidence of lack of care there, you know. That's what's on your membership, right? Well, I think people probably have forgotten they're on the waiting list and they've probably cancelled it. Who the hell is waiting for you know what I mean? There's nothing this season. Look, you win the Europa League, maybe it's different, but there's nothing this season that would make me think, oh, I want to renew my season ticket. I'd be trying to get rid of the thing. I mean, depending on where you sit, it's £1,000+ a year. Then you got travel cost and all the money that you spend on match days. You're not getting your money's worth. Let's be real. You're not. Yeah, let's get Timo Werner back in the team. Yeah, Turbo Timo. I don't even think I'll renew my membership. I mean, the membership's an absolute con in itself, isn't it? It's an absolute con in itself. It's 70 quid a year for the membership. Just buy a ticket or a season ticket. I know, isn't it ridiculous? Isn't it absolutely ridiculous? Frankfurt are winning 1-0, by the way. Bahoya has scored for them. They look like they've woken up a little bit. And I think Newcastle are winning now. Yeah, Newcastle. Sandro Tonali's just scored for him. Roberto, mate, when it comes to managers, we spend a lot of money on managers. You can easily get one in. It's not the problem. What they want is assurances on how you're going to spend money and things like that. Wages, we can easily get someone in. It's the plan. It's the action that you want to do for it. You know. So we'll sort of see. But look, anyway, thanks so much for joining me this evening. Go and enjoy the rest of your evening. Try and switch off from Tottenham. Go enjoy the rest of your evenings. The F1's on. Watch that. The Masters is on this evening. Go on, Rory. Hopefully he does the business this evening. And I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with some positivity. Let's see. And I'll speak to you all then. Take care, everyone. Peace.